This show is sponsored by Horizon HVAC, who you can count on for all of your heating and cooling needs. All right, so Mindset Radio Podcast, we're here with Nick Amaral. Nick owns Amaral Services, Wild Evo on YouTube, Instagram. Nick, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. What was your childhood like? What got you into construction? What got you into this field?
So, I've been on a bunch of podcasts, and this story is kind of, redundant because, everybody always wants to know, obviously, how did you start and all this. So I'll give you guys, the short and sweet. Shitty childhood. Ended up living with my grandmother when I was, 9 or 10. She wasn't even my biological grandmother. She was, my mother's stepmother.
Wow.
So this woman took me in, and then my grandfather passed away when I was 12, so I was only with them for 2 years. So I never had, a father figure. I never had a man in the house, nothing like that. It was just my grandmother. I was always in and out of trouble as far as not big trouble, but I was always in and out of trouble as a young kid.
Yeah, truancy and stuff.
Nah, I liked school. I wanted to get an education. It was just more of I was always trying to fit in with people because, again, I didn't have a family. I didn't know what that was like. I was always searching for something. It was always a void, whether it was friendships, girlfriends, whatever the case was. I always felt like I didn't belong, and I always had to, work hard to be accepted, right, when I was younger. Fast forward, I barely graduated high school. Didn't get along with authority or anything like that. So being an outsider in Seekonk school. So I grew up in Seekonk, which was super preppy. Everybody was better than everybody. Yeah. And I was this kid from I don't even know where I was at the time, Riverside, Rhode Island, or East Providence, Rhode Island. Everybody just looked at me as who's this scumbag, you know? So even the teachers were treating me that way when I was in school.
Really?
So they just signed me off. Everybody was just so quick to sign me off. But I was actually pretty smart when I was younger. I graduated school, actually graduated high school with the highest honors they've ever seen. I had,
So you liked school?
I did like school. I liked to learn. I loved history. I was huge on history and remembering things. Math, I was always good with numbers. But like I said, I actually graduated from Seekonk High School with the highest honors they've ever seen. At the time, Barack Obama was the president, so in 2008, I ended up getting the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award from him. I hate Barack Obama, so it doesn't really matter. I don't count that as a win, but it was cool to hey, to Seekonk High School, you guys signed me off, and I ended up getting the top stats that you've ever seen, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life, and I feel that's a lot of what happens when you're out of high school. You don't know what your purpose is. What are you supposed to do? So I kind of just floated around. I had so many jobs. When I tell you,
Dude,
I've struck out
so
many times, at least 40 or 50 jobs. Yeah. Just couldn't do it. Just didn't like it. I couldn't find anything I liked. Again, we'll fast forward because there's just so much of that. I was in a non-union shop for low voltage. One of my best friends got me in, and I kind of liked that. I really did like it. It was something different every day. The harder you worked, the more recognition you got, which was cool. It was wow, there is some type of purpose here.
Yeah, it makes you want to do better.
Makes you want to do better, right? It makes you strive for more. And then there was a falling out with that company. I ended up going into the union for a short time. And as soon as I got into the union, I was wow, I hate this. It was just different.
Dude, it sucked.
It was just so terrible. The harder you worked.
The hierarchy is...
The harder you worked, and the harder you worked and the more you did, the less respect you gained.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like that. It was just weird.
Because everybody's milking the clock.
System
so there's when you're in the union, there's an unwritten rule with the employees that you have to act a certain way.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And if not, you'll get 2 checks. You'll get laid off.
2-check Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what it was called.
You will get laid off if you don't follow that.
I got 2-check Tuesday probably 3 or 4 weeks in a row, different companies, because I was working too hard.
I was the same way.
I hated it. I couldn't stand it. So then I remember it was a snowstorm, and I was I just bought a truck. I bought a plow. And I just bought my first house at the time, and I was I am absolutely miserable. What am I going to do? I had $200 in my pocket. I was you know what? I'm just going to ship this. I'm going to just put everything on me. I bet everything on myself. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something.
How old were you?
27.
Wow.
Actually, I was 26 when I said, screw this, I'm out. It was the end of 2016. January 11th, 2017 is when I started Amaral Services. So I originally started Amaral Services as, listen to this, this was the first business card. Are you ready for this? Automotive performance, automotive detailing, and I think it was demolition.
Nothing to do with each other.
Nothing with anything. No, it was snowplowing. Sorry, demolition wasn't even there. So snowplowing, automotive performance and detailing.
Hey, but
What
you
the
did
hell
it.
was that?
So,
It was
but
like
that
everywhere.
just goes to show that you didn't have a foundation. You
I had
didn't know
nothing.
what the hell was going on.
I just knew I was going to figure something out. Someone was like, "Hey, you should go get your Rhode Island contractor's license. It's easy. You pay a reg fee, you get insurance, and you can start pulling permits and you can do demo." I'm like, "Demo is easy. Why not?" So I bought a dump truck. I did that. I started doing like trash cleanouts, like literally going to crack houses in Providence, like where I was scared for my life.
How are you getting your contractors? Was this back in the Craigslist days?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I was finding people.
Yeah, me too.
I would post it and be like, "Hey, I'll do this."
Mm-hmm.
And like my first big job was a 4-story, like 4-family crack house. I swear to God, this
Wow.
is not a lie. My hand was in a cast because I messed up my hand, and I was cleaning this out by myself, like full demo, full clean out, like toilets with still shit in them. Like it was awful.
Ugh.
It was some nasty,
Ugh.
gritty, dirty work. And I did that for probably 3 or 4 months. Like the real big break was I went to a house in Providence on the east side, and the woman was like, "Hey, I need this basement cleaned out." Okay, that's easy. Clean a basement. And then we started to talking, and she's like, "Well, the reason I was getting this cleaned out is I want to finish this basement." She's like, "Do you know anybody that could do it?" I was like, "No, I don't know. I didn't know anybody at the time." She's like, "Well, can you do it?" It's like, all right, like I said previously, like I just bought my first house. I
Yeah.
started doing my own renovations. I have construction experience. It's like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
What was it? Was it just full of shit that she just wanted
It's
to
just full of like junk, like just like stuff for moving, like boxes,
Yeah, you
bins,
just-
old toys.
kind of like our basement right
Yeah.
now?
Bro, it's like
Gotta
it's
collect
the
all.
common thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like she's like, I just want it cleaned out and like push it all away and all, like make it organized. I was like, all right. So we did that. It was like me and one of my friends' dad at the time. Like he was like a retired guy who just always wanted to drive around with me and help me out. The guy was like 70 years old, like just helping me. It was hilarious. So just picture me. I was like 26 or 7 at the time, and this 70-year-old man just
Yeah.
cleaning basements
no
out.
shit.
Hilarious. And they're like, she's like, "Oh, so do you know anybody that could do it?" I was like, "No." And then I was like, "Well, I could try." So then I just started figuring it out. I started framing. I was like, all right, I framed. Obviously, I could get the electrical done.
So you
And
didn't
then-
have any experience in framing before
Never.
you were framing?
No, I just
That's
knew-
tough, man.
I
That's a tough thing to learn on the
Oh,
spot.
hell yeah. I just knew 16 on center, And I knew, like, certain things, like pressure treated on the ground. That was it.
But even at that, if you don't pull it from the right side,
Oh,
like,
yeah. It
there's
was a
lot.
disaster. It was an absolute
That's
disaster.
Crazy. That's
it was,
crazy.
It was bad.
Was
Yeah.
It was awful. I'm not going
Aw.
to sit here and say it was the
Yeah,
best
but
thing.
fuck
Did she
it.
love
It was
it?
so bad. Well, I didn't leave it like that. So it was terrible, right? It was bad. And I was like, all right, I need electrician. I was like, oh, electrical. All right, cool. I get that done. I was like, fuck, plumbing. Like, I don't know a plumber. So then I found a plumber through like mutual people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, it came down to sheetrock.
Oh boy.
I was like, all right, sheetrock. Who am I going to call? And I remember reaching out to you because you were doing sheetrock. And you're like, oh, I'm busy and da-da-da. I was like, all right, no problem. I found sheetrockers. That was cool. And then it came to the finish work.
Yeah.
Now, the finish work was a game changer. So, but real quick, before I get into the finish, the sheetrockers actually helped me reframe everything because it was a disaster.
Really?
The sheetrockers was like, dude, what is this? I was like,
Who'd you
yeah.
end up- who'd you
I was
end up
like,
using?
I was like, yeah, the guy that framed it, man, he did a bad job. Like, I don't know about that guy. I'm not gonna use him
Didn't even
anymore.
pay him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he walked off the job and just, whatever.
Do you remember who you used for the sheetrock?
For sheetrock, he was like my first, TNF Plasters, Tony, if you're listening, shout out to you, man. That guy was like the first guy he was like my first subcontractor. He's great.
Oh,
He
that's
hooked me
fun.
up. He helped me out. He really watched my back. And then he got really, really big. So we just kind of, went our separate ways or whatever because he's just too busy. He's out in like Boston area. So then it came to the finish and I was like, this had like this windy, tight staircase. I've told this story so many times. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. I'm looking at this staircase and I'm like, how the hell do you do this?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Where do I
YouTube,
start?
I'm Googling, I'm asking friends, I'm asking carpenters, and they're all looking at me like, this kid's an idiot. Like, you don't belong in this field. A lot of people signed me off again. I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. I go to Home Depot. I'm looking at, like, the pre-cut stringers. I didn't even know it was called a stringer back then. I'm like, a stringer? What the hell's a stringer? I was like, I thought these were called risers. I don't know, right? And then I get a call. During this project, I get a call for another clean-out. It's one of my friends, Chris Texera, again, if you're listening, shout out to you because he was like one of the first guys that put me on and trusted me to be on his job site.
That sounds
I
familiar. yeah.
don't know if I would have did that if I were you, Chris, but you did.
It's
So
cool when people take chances.
Oh,
on
he
you,
took a
man.
huge
Yeah.
chance on me.
Yeah.
He did. And he put me on. And again, my hand was in a cast, so I had to ask friends for help. I went and cleaned this area out. And his guy at the time, his name was Tony. I met him. He was a really good guy, and he lended me a shovel because I didn't know what I was doing. I showed up to clean out a house, and I had no shovel to put in the dumpster, nothing.
Wow, yeah.
He's like, yeah, kid, here's some gloves, here's a shovel, and I start doing all that, and I was like, oh, thanks. And then once I realized that Chris like was giving me a chance, I was like, hey, Chris, can you please come and help me like with this? I took this on. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you just teach me? He's like, why don't you ask Tony or something? You know, like maybe he'll go and do it on a weekend or blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, Tony, you want to come do some side work? I'll pay you whatever you want. Whatever you want. I don't even care at this point if I was going to lose money or not. Just please get it done. He came, he did it, and that was it. And then the long end of that is he ended up going his separate way, and Tony now has worked for me since October of 2017.
Wow.
He's been my number one guy. Tony Pereira. He's my number one guy. He's my project manager. He pretty much runs my business at this point. That's how much trust I have in him. Great guy, solid, do anything for you, and we've just steadily come up together. It was great.
That's fun.
But like,
Yeah, you got to figure it out.
you got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
Thank God for him. Thank God for Chris and all them. And and again, Chris to this day, I look at him like family. He's always taking a chance on me. He knows that I started from absolutely nothing. So every time I run into him, wherever we're at, he gives me a big hug, proud of me, all this stuff, which is huge. Because Chris is like a very skilled carpenter. Like I probably have Chris, Tom Brady. I probably have Chris as far as like master carpenter.
A lot of those guys are so tough to learn from too because
they don't
they're
want to teach
so,
you.
but
And
they're
they don't
so
wanna teach you.
good. They make it look easy. So I used to get frustrated. Be like, dude, I don't know how you're making it look this easy, and it's tough for them to explain because it's like when you're green and they're trying to explain something to you, it's like,
no idea.
yeah, I'm the same way. I grew up very tough childhood. I had to figure out everything. Just kind of, I was thrown into it. Actually, the funny thing, my first job was one of my first jobs was AA sign and awning.
Okay.
It was we did awnings, like that big green awning you saw outside. We did them. We did signs and stuff. And the first day the guy hired me, he was like, "Do you know how to drive a JLG?" And I'm like, "It's a big crane bucket truck, right?
sure.
Monster." And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely, no problem." We go to do a job. We get back at lunch, and he goes, "Hey, Mike, I need you to take that to Thames Street in Newport." And I'm like, I knew what Thames Street was, and I know how narrow it is, dude. And it's to drive down that street with a car is tough.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, yeah, no problem, man. My partner's looking at me like, are you fucking serious? Because he knew I didn't know how to drive it. So I just figured it out, dude. I jumped in the driver's seat. I've never drove stick before. This is my first time driving stick.
Oh, my
So I drive in, dude, I jump in, and I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out. I didn't even Google it, YouTube it, nothing.
Just keep trying buttons.
I was like, all right, I know this is the clutch. This is this. All right, I'm following. That's first gear. Bro, I left that parking lot like this. I was like bucking. Dude, thankfully they were upstairs in their office. They didn't see me leave. But I got down the street like a good 10 minutes, and this was coming out of Central Falls. All tight areas, dude. And thank God nothing happened. But yeah, man, I figured it out. And by the time I got back, I was driving it.
Wow.
But when I
That's
pulled
what
on
it takes, man.
when I pulled on Thames Street, dude, I was shitting bricks. Because dude, there's like, you've never been to Newport.
No.
She's from California, so
wow.
a lot of
Learning
the
all
Rhode
the
Island scene, I'm
spots.
showing her around still.
Thames Street's like cobblestone road from like 1700s when
Wow.
when like Paul Revere had driving a JLG crane down
Yeah,
Thames Street.
but dude, listen, the point is you just got to figure it out,
Yeah.
and I get so many questions of we both do, of like, how are you guys doing all this different stuff? Because, and for us, it's like, it's kind of easy because I like doing all of it, and we're just having fun. But we're figuring it out. I don't know how to do any of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting really good at it now, but when we first started, like, I didn't know shit, dude.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I had to figure it out.
And that's the biggest thing is, and I get the same question. Obviously, we all probably get asked the same question. How do you do this? How did you start? How did you get that? How did you make it happen? And it's literally like, we already talked about it. It's just take action. If I would have done those stairs and I failed 5 or 6 times, I think by the 7th time, I probably would have figured it out. But I just skipped all of that and did what I know how to do. And that's find somebody, network, ask questions.
Yeah.
You're eventually going to figure it out. You're eventually going to get the right answer.
Yeah.
Right? If you ask a bunch of people, I was just right place, right time with the right person, and that's how that works.
Yeah.
And the right attitude.
The right attitude or mindset.
Yep, mindset.
Just figure it out.
Dude, that's the most important thing. You got to just figure it out. But you can, you know what, man? You can lay the blueprint out to people, and you can tell them, you can give them a way to do it that's better than the way you do
And they
it.
still won't do it.
And they just still won't do it.
It's funny, like fast forward now, like as far as construction, I don't think there's any avenue of construction that I can't figure out or know about now from doing it for all these years. And I'll sit in rooms with guys that have 40 years experience, and I'll look at a blueprint in 3 seconds and tell them, "Oh, that's right here."
Yeah.
And they're like,
well, you did really good in school, so that probably translated over to like,
but zero construction
learning.
experience. I've
Yeah.
never read a blueprint in my life.
yeah.
I didn't know what any of I didn't know what a legend was. you know, and that's pretty simple stuff. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a high like education. It's very just high school. That's it. You know what I mean?
But you're probably really good at things that you want to learn.
Again, it's trial and error. I'm huge on like trial and error. So if I can look at something and figure it out pretty quick. So I'm very visual.
Yeah.
But if I have to sit there and read a book and then take a test on that, nah.
Explain how important delegation is.
I mean, delegation's huge too. And you have to be I've learned in construction, especially with older employees, delegation's crucial with how you explain it and how you kind of navigate your words with visual as well. Because I'm sure you've been through this. What's your turnaround with employees?
Oh, it's quick. I mean,
It must be quite a bit, right?
today. Yeah.
It must be quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And that's construction in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You have all these boomers essentially that are so used to old technology. What they didn't even know what computers were. Some of them still struggle with computers. So I can look something up so quick where they're looking inside of a builder's code book this thick, trying to find the answer. And
you can find it in 2 seconds.
I can find it in 2 seconds. Hey, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And like, well, how do you know that? And then they want you to explain to them. So like, it's all about words and how you like navigate how you got there, and then they kind of start listening and respect you more. But as far as like on a job site, I've learned it's better for me to just talk to one of my guys. So again, my project manager, whoever my project manager is on that project, I deal with them. Nobody else calls me. Don't call me. Don't talk to me.
That's how it should be.
That's your guy.
Yep.
And then I tell that same, like for instance, Tony, you're the guy. Don't call me and ask me questions. You should know.
Mm-hmm.
You're in charge. If these guys aren't listening to you or respecting you, send them home. That's it. See you later. I'm not worried about turnaround. We have core values. That's how we hire and fire. If you are not going to participate the correct way, if you're not what those words say on that board, see you later. If you're not going to respect your project manager or your superior, and then you want to talk directly to me, you jump in chain of command. That's not how life works. You know, if you have a problem with your sergeant, you're not going to go and meet a general, right?
True.
So it's the same thing. Deal with your project manager. I give them all the power, and I've learned that that's the best approach. Like it avoids micromanaging. It avoids, well, Nick said to do it this way, but Tony's telling me to do it this way. Which way should I do it? That shouldn't even be a thing. You should be smart enough to know, I know how to do it. I just want you to tell me what you want me to do. Like give me a task, right? This is how I tell all my guys. I'm going to give you a task. How you do it, I don't care how you get from A to Z as long as you get to Z. You may have a different way of doing it. As long as it's done the correct way and the quality is there, I don't care how you do it.
Yeah.
That's just what we do daily. Here's your task. These are our expectations. See you later.
Do you have a shop? Do you have like a central home location?
Yeah, we're located in Swansea. It's small.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have like a workshop. It's just an office,
just
centralized
an
office with
yeah.
a yard. We keep all of our equipment. I have a Carnex trailer in the back. That's pretty much where we keep all of our stock, and everything we do is on site.
What's your turnaround like? You're on a lot of different projects. Can you pull up his Instagram, Ash? Amaral Services. I love your content, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, your content's sick. Who does that?
So over the last year, we've hired Toll by Fire Media, which is Patrick
Dude,
Quinn.
they're killing it. Oh, Patrick Quinn.
PQ, he's a G, man.
I think I know him.
Such a good guy. He's just like the best energy you're ever gonna find. He's just a solid soul, like good dude.
So what has changed since you started working with them?
So he actually brought out our true like work culture.
Yeah.
He actually shows that like what we look for, what our core values are, how we deal with day to day. Like our customer reviews and testimonials. He really knows the questions to ask, which is great. Because a lot of like I'm sure again you guys know, I was doing everything for the business. I was bidding on the jobs, pricing the jobs, dealing with the customer, answering the phone calls, sending emails, doing the billing, doing my own social media.
Which in a sense you kind of have to start doing from the beginning.
You have to.
You have to, yeah.
But now like, you know, I'm at the point where if I continue to have full control over everything, I'm never gonna grow.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I outsource it now. You know, I once again I hire someone, I confide in them. PQ does a job. It's just like hiring Tony to run the project.
So what does he do as far as services? Like he does all your marketing and he does like
so he just does content. So he'll come in, he'll film. We usually film once a month, and then depending on what we want or how much we want, he gives us reels, videos, stills, and then we post. He does offer like full control, which he just recently started doing. If that's something you're interested in, I would reach out to him. He's really good with it. But as far as what he does for us, he just makes the content and we post. And then I just hired my own in-house IT guy. He just redid my entire website. We actually host it ourselves now.
Nice.
Yeah,
which
we
is huge.
just did that
went
too.
through that.
What
We
a
were
world
going
of
through
difference.
Topline, which was a pretty cool company. It was like AI driven, and
Mhm.
they built our website. They were running all the back end stuff, but I had no control over the leads that were
which
coming
is
in.
terrible.
I,
SEO is huge.
yeah,
Mhm.
dude.
And if your SEO isn't, so you got to look at business as a machine, right? And the way I look at it is there's so many different avenues to that machine. So you have this big center mass, which is like, Amaral Services or Horizon HVAC, right?
Mhm.
So you start with that, and then you need leads to be pumping, right? You need estimators to be flowing, and then you need to close those jobs. So what I noticed with my SEO is I was getting all these leads, but they were just junk leads.
Yeah,
know?
a lot of people that didn't even mean to click on it.
Not
or-
even mean to click on
yeah,
it or
yeah.
go and
We
just
get-
waste your time.
Yep.
So now that we're doing that in-house, we can control the SEOs that we really, really want.
And Pat does that.
No. So
your in-house
my
guy.
in-house guy's name's
Yeah.
Christian, which he's an absolute beast.
So you hired him full time just to do all the
Correct.
all the
So not only
SEO
does
stuff.
Christian do Amaral Services, he also does Wild Evo. He does wildevo.net. He's helping us with our YouTube. He's helping us with anything IT related. All of our CRM, so our Monday.com, Invoice.
Oh, you're using Monday?
I use Monday. Monday's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we started it. We use House Call Pro, which is
House Call
which
Pro's
is really
too.
good.
That's service based, which is probably good for like Horizon.
But it's starting to do CRM stuff now.
Right.
So like all of our leads, they have a pipeline, they have all that stuff. So like we can nurture all the leads right through House Call. They're constantly adding new stuff.
If I could pull up my Monday.com on here, I would show you how much of a difference it is than that.
Really?
It's so much more than service based or like an in-house CRM. This CRM Monday can control so much. Like
Monday is a CRM. I didn't
It's a
know it was a CRM too.
So I can link Amaral Services with RCL Mechanical, for instance, Mark Mason's company, and I can get notified every time he steps foot on my job site, and vice versa. When my job is ready for a rough inspection, like, hey, Mark, I need you to get your guys here to finish this. We're ready for finish. I click a button on my CRM, and it can link to his, and we can all be integrated. Everybody in my network.
If he has Monday, or can
If
it
he has
link to any
Monday.
CRM?
If he has Monday. So I've been trying to convert all of my vendors to Monday because it's so much easier.
Yeah.
The customer gets notified. They get a text with they're off the day. I'm huge with communication and
Yeah,
organization.
yeah, we
so,
are too.
So when I step foot on a job site, we let our customer know when we're going to be there, who's going to be there, what they're going to be doing, who's next in line, what material is going to show up, and so on and so forth. It may seem like a lot, like, wow, you're really annoying your customer. Customers want that. Because in today's world, contractors have such a bad reputation of taking your money and dipping out.
Yeah.
We're not like that. We're gonna annoy you and let you know every step and every phase of your project. That way you know what's happening. So if I could give you any advice, I would look into something like that.
Did you have another CRM before you started Monday?
Never had a CRM. You know who put me onto a CRM?
Mark.
Mark Mason.
Yeah. He brought it up too.
Mhm.
Mark has given me so much good advice, man.
Oh yeah. So Mark Mason, Patrick Quinn, Jimmy Murray, those 4 people have helped me tremendously with taking my business to the next step.
How important is that to have people around you like that?
100%. It's the most
Like,
valuable part.
Do you attribute a lot of your success to just those people that you're surrounding yourself with and taking advice from?
Recently, hell yeah. Mark and I meet at least twice a year and just talk business. We meet at lunch. We meet for lunch and talk business. And Mark's way above where I'm at as far as business wise. So for him to take the time out of his day to meet with me and help me or give me advice on how to grow my business, it's huge. And vice versa. Maybe he has questions about building or something that I can help him with, or permitting or building code. Like there's value to one another, and we respect one another. So that's
Yeah.
why we do that.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of credit to him. He's one of the first guys I met when I was starting my company. We were working on a mutual job site for another, like a realtor. He was doing a flip. This is when Mark was actually like doing plumbing. He was on a job site
In the field, yeah.
sweating pipes.
Mhm.
So it was huge. That's how I met Mark. And then we go to each other's kids' birthday parties. Like we're really close. My
Yeah.
wife loves his wife.
And he
we
just
didn't-
wrote a book.
Yeah, I think it's being released on June 5th.
Yeah, he's sending me one so we can start promoting it a little bit. But dude, what a just amazing character to have that much stuff going on and be able to write a book. And just like you said, dude, he does
Yeah.
the same for me too.
Right.
Like when I call him, he'll take the time out of his day to be like, listen, man, you got to do this, you got to
Right.
do that. I call him I talked to him today, and I was like, dude, what should I do about this?
Yeah.
Right away, got
He's
back
gonna
to
give
me,
you- yeah, that's the greatest part
and
about it.
he was like, dude, you got to this, and that.
And that's very rare in today's world, especially being
It
in this
is,
area,
man, I
because
know.
everybody's so worried about competition and everybody thinks you're trying to take from them. Guys, competition's at like competition is on the bottom.
Yeah.
All-time low. You shouldn't even be worrying about that.
If we all can just build each other up
Yeah.
and become this unstoppable force, I say it to everybody all the time, we would be an unstoppable force. If every single one of us were linked in some way or some other like opportunity, anytime a customer calls you, I says, oh, well, I just call this guy and he's gonna be, oh, Mike's a great guy. You should definitely go with Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, I just called Mark over at RCL and he was this. Oh, Mark's a great guy. You should go with him.
Yeah.
That's always going to happen.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
whichever they choose,
You
let
just
them
build them
choose.
up. Let
Yeah.
them choose. If they're already on
Yeah.
the fence about them, that means they're just give it to them. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of work.
I
There it
agree.
is right there. The resilient entrepreneur.
That's it.
So I think it comes out, what's it say?
June 5th.
June 10th.
June 10th. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, that's a really good book I mean, Mark is a very, very smart businessman. And if you were to take advice, I mean, just by listening to the both of us, he's definitely the guy to take serious and listen to. That's cool, man. I mean, writing a book is probably it takes a lot
You know
of
what I've
freaking
noticed
time,
too
dude.
is everybody in today's current business, like entrepreneurship, have similar upbringings.
Yeah.
You said you had a rough childhood, right?
Yeah,
Mark had a rough childhood.
yeah,
I had a rough childhood. Another good friend of mine had Jimmy. He didn't have the greatest.
yep.
And it just shows you that like nobody's gonna save you.
Mm.
And I think that's what it really comes down to with this.
Mhm.
is,
Nobody
like,
owes you anything.
Exactly. And if you know like, hey, nobody's saved me my entire life. This is all on me.
Yep,
That's what pushes you.
yep.
But if if you've been babied and nurtured and maybe it's not for you.
Mhm.
But maybe that's why you're so hesitant. Take the risk.
Yeah,
You gotta jump at some point.
yeah,
you
dude.
know?
Yeah, I think there is a correlation with people having an upbringing and not getting handed everything and having to work for everything. Like, dude, there's something to that. I mean, you're the same way. You know, her mother died when she was really young and she didn't have a father.
Mm.
She raised herself at the age of 13, joined the military.
Absolutely.
You know, and made her
awesome.
own life.
Well, not awesome, but awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's huge that you took the initiative.
absolutely. But you know what? Having any amount of parents or mentors in our life we just have to take what we can get and
Absolutely.
then build off of that. Like I think it's impressive that not only were you raised by a woman that wasn't biologically your grandmother, she still gave you
Oh,
that
she wasn't
love.
biologically your grandmother?
Nah,
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, she's my mother's stepmother.
Oh,
So my grandmother actually, she just passed away last year.
I'm sorry.
So
man.
this past year was like probably I was really, for the first time in a long time, I was stuck in like this flat line. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt lost again. You know, like, oh, what am I doing this all for? Because she was like the only person that's never given up on me in my entire
Wow.
life. You know, like I'm not scared to say that. That woman owed me nothing.
Dude, the same thing with my
Owed
grandmother
me
too, man.
absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
and gave me everything she had my entire life.
Mm.
And I sold my house. I actually bought my house from her. In 2019, I bought her house. Business was good. We were crushing it. I was like, Grandma, we just buy your house. We live here for free. We'll hang out. I redid the whole house. I ended up having my first daughter. Cool. And then I was like, I got to get her out of here. Like, I can't. That was the house I grew up in. So I was like, let's do something, right? So I finally get this woman out of that house. We sell the house. I build a house in Rehoboth. She lasted like less than a year. She got cancer out of nowhere. It was like the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Wait, you built her a house for her?
So I built a really nice house in Rehoboth, and it was like a full in-law for her.
Got
Wow,
it.
yeah.
And I made sure she just, Graham, you're gonna die here. I just didn't expect it to be so soon.
Yeah.
But it really sucked. It really, until this day, it bothers me. You know that.
Yeah, but dude, you know how freaking proud she probably was of you
I'm
to
sure.
even do that?
Oh,
That's
100%.
great.
I'm
That's
sure.
awesome,
But
man.
like that's what I was getting at is like that was always my fuel. Was like I want to get my grandmother out of here. I want to make sure she doesn't ever have to worry or stress or pay for a friggin' bill again, because again, she was working 3 jobs when I was young to put me through sports and make sure I had food, and I didn't know any of this. And when I was a kid,
Right.
you take so much for granted, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
So like I finally was able to get her out of that house. Like I felt like she was stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get her out of the house, and then all that happened. It was such a blow. You know, when you lose your only person, I felt like at that time, it was like, don't get me wrong, I have 2 beautiful kids. I have a wife that loves me, and I love her, and I have friends that I would do anything for. But my connection with my grandmother was, I can't explain it, you know. She literally moved mountains for me.
No.
I've never had somebody do that for me before. No matter what, even if I was wrong. You know, that was the craziest thing about her. Like, even when she knew I was wrong about something, she'd be like, no, he's right.
Yeah.
You know? And that's so rare. It's such a rarity.
I had the same grandmother. You know, I went through a really bad addiction, and she was the only person, her and my mom, that like stood by my side and was like, no, this isn't him. Like he's gonna figure it out. Even all the shit that I put him through, man, they just were like, they stood by my side. So it's just, I'll never forget that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's where it was. So like, last year was rough for me.
What do you do when you're in a situation like that, when you feel flat and you need to?
Oh man, it's like, I always try to say this, but it's hard sometimes. It's like, I do something for someone else. Does that make sense? Like when I feel wicked low, I try to just think of gratitude and just be grateful for what I do have, and then I give something away or do something for someone else to be like, that's what my grandmother would have done. My grandmother opened her house to so many people when I was young. She had so many people living at that house.
Yeah.
In and out, in and out, in and out, revolving door. She fed so many people. We had nothing. When I tell you nothing, guys, we were like, I don't understand how she did it, how she kept us alive. And she would always make it seem like, oh, we got plenty of food. Come and eat. Oh, we're doing this. Come over. You need somewhere to stay? Stay.
She Portuguese?
She was.
Yeah.
Portuguese and Italian, Scottish.
Yep.
It's just crazy. That woman had such an impact on me, and it's like over the last couple of years, I really started to realize why I am the way I am, and it's because of her.
Yeah.
You know, she showed me what it's like to just be completely selfless.
Yeah.
She was literally an angel, you know, and they say the good die young. It was so crazy. Sarcoma cancer. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
It was the quickest thing in the world. So I got married in 2022 in February. So till 2/2/22.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
That
birthday's
that was my
2/2.
idea.
Yeah.
That was my idea. Cool. So we got married, and right before that, my grandma actually she just had surgery. She had a bunch of tumors removed
To try to
get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh yeah, you're cancer free. You're good." January, February of 23, she was feeling like shit again, and they're like, "Yeah, it's back." So she did all kinds of, you know, chemo, radiation, this, that. They're like, okay, yeah, we got him out again. She had another surgery. 3 weeks go by. She goes back. They do a scan. She had a volleyball-sized tumor in her stomach, a softball, and a baseball.
Oh my gosh.
And she didn't make it a month. It was crazy.
It
was-
grew back.
it was
that
just-
fast.
I've never seen anything like, and I live with her. So I would come home and you see that every day, you know? I think that's what the hardest part was. Seeing it take over somebody's like that so quick. And she was so fucking positive about it.
No.
She literally went to her own doctor. She went to her own to the funeral home herself. She can even walk.
Jeez.
And she was writing a list of who gets what, who does this, who does that. She was just so positive. She knew it was. Just
What was her lifestyle like? Was she pretty overall just like a clean living person?
Oh yeah. I mean, she smoked cigarettes for a while,
Yeah.
but she gave all that up
Mhm.
when she was like 50-ish. I don't know. She was, how old was she? She was 68 when she passed, or she was gonna be 68. So she was still young.
He was very young.
She
Yeah.
had 2 kids, 2 daughters.
Yeah,
and
how old was
then-
my mom? 60?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Jeez,
right?
young,
Yeah.
dude.
So my aunt, so like her first born, I think is 46 or 47. She was born in 77, so whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Auntie Missy, you're old as shit. But yeah, so like
Easy.
she was young. She worked hard her whole entire life. She had a foster child. She took in my mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was always taking everybody in, you know?
Yeah,
She's just a strong woman.
It's
Yeah.
incredible
Earth angel.
the lessons that we can learn though from that kind of stuff that make us the person that we are.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. I mean, having that strong foundation, it amounts to a lot of the success that I think we see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I'm grateful for the upbringing and all the stuff that happened in my life. You know what I mean? It made me the resilient person that I am.
Absolutely.
If I didn't go through the stuff that I went through, I just wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have the drive that I have. None of this would be happening.
Yeah, with no suffering, you don't know what success
You know
is.
what, dude?
Yeah,
I
for
say this all the time, and it's sad to say, but I'm not comfortable unless I'm suffering in some kind of way because I was just so used to it growing up.
Right.
I always I was put on Adderall at the age of 12, dude. So but when I was young, I was always taught like, oh, if something's wrong, take a pill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I grew up with that mentality, and it's just it didn't take me until a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, to find out and identify those certain things of like why I am the way I am. And once I identified it, I was able to like work towards it and be like, okay, this is what I need to fix. This is what needs to change. And then like once I started putting in the work to do it, it's just like things started falling together.
Do you suffer from anxiety?
Yeah, I didn't think I did, but I definitely do. Yeah, I mean,
I actually suffer from anxiety, like
yeah,
to the point where like I don't even know how I'm alive.
yeah.
I don't know if you could tell looking at me that
No,
I
you-
suffer from anxiety, right?
no.
Always, everybody says
Yeah.
you're always so cool and collected and calm. It's like you have no idea.
No,
what's
but
going
on the
in my head,
inside,
dude.
yeah, on the inside.
And I was so like you just said, like I always felt like if you're not suffering, something's wrong. I was always like, hey, things are going too good.
Yeah.
What is gonna happen? How something bad's due, and it took me a long time to like get that out of my head.
Are you the kind of person that is like you don't give yourself enough credit?
Yeah, I hate talking about myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm the same way, dude.
I
Like,
hate that shit.
I'll go home at night, and we do a lot of our creative thinking and a lot of the work at night. Like 8 o'clock comes, and we're done with the day, and we stay up until 2 o'clock. I mean, working on this or working on that and talking about how we can get better, and all the time, man. I'm just like, I feel like there's something wrong. I feel like
You're not
something
doing
off. And
enough.
she's like, yeah, and she's like, you're killing it right now. Like you're doing this and that, and I'm
I think
like,
it's
yeah, but
called,
something.
like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
100%, dude.
Yeah, 'cause
I
I
always
deal
think
with the
that
same
I'm like, why am I fake? Is this fake? Am I not doing this? Like, what? But like,
The silver lining in that is when you feel like you're not doing enough, it's what pushes you.
Yeah, to keep
right?
going.
Because I feel the same way. Like I always feel like there's no breakthrough. I'm stagnant. I'm not moving forward. So that means I'm falling behind, right?
Yeah.
In business, that was like always a quote that I've always lived by. If you're not moving forward, you're falling behind.
yeah,
But somebody recently, Will Smith, did you see this interview? When you get to the top, right? It's like you have money where you can buy whatever you want, or you don't depend on anybody. You're successful enough where you don't have to go to work if you don't want to, right? You get to the top and it's like this peak. And I just had this conversation with a good friend of mine last weekend about racing, coincidentally. And you get to this point, it's like, all right, well, like I've done everything I want to do, or like what am I supposed to do? Like what is next? What am I doing? And sometimes that peak of success, like you're so high, it's almost like you're rock bottom.
Wow. Yeah.
It really is. Like you're like so low in your mindset. You're depressed. You don't know what to do. Like I don't know if you feel this way. Sometimes my alarm goes off and it's like, what do I got to go to work for?
mm-hmm.
Other days I'm up before that alarm and I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
let's get it.
yeah,
Like when it comes to like racing for me, race day, I'm not waiting for the alarm. I'm ready because I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm excited. I'm ready. For work, you're like, man, what is gonna happen today? How many fires am I gonna have to put out today?
mm-hmm.
How many issues? Who's not gonna be happy? Who's not gonna show up to work? That's what's always going on. But
Yeah.
that's that peak. Like, brother, 6 years ago, you were dreaming for this. You were
Yeah.
dreaming for this.
yeah,
True.
You did it.
mm-hmm.
You made it. You made it. You have a loving woman that's by your side, working with you every day to help you achieve your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That's a win. That's
Yeah.
success. What more can you do? What more can you ask for?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, 100%, man.
And you need to be told that sometimes
Yeah.
and accept that.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. When
Yeah.
somebody tries telling me something like that, it's like, yeah, but I could always do better.
Yeah,
right?
we want
I
more.
could always do better,
I
right?
want more.
I always want more.
Mhm.
And that, again, it's like racing. I'm chasing time every day of my life. I'm chasing the time every day. Every time I step in that car and I strap in, I'm chasing time. You get a slip. Oh, cool. I achieved the goal. Now what? You instantly set another goal.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like being an entrepreneur.
What got you into racing? That's just a topic that I wanted to talk about because I think it's so cool to have a hobby like that,
Yeah.
right? I wish I had something, and this is always something I'm searching for. When I grew up, it was always sports and boxing or MMA or skateboarding
Yeah.
or just something that kept me going. And I still train here and there. Like I'll go to Boletto's and train, but like I wish I had something a little bit more that I could concentrate on and put my time in besides
Yeah.
work. Because right now I'm in that flow state of work, dude. I'm just like, I'm loving it. I'm building. I'm
Yeah.
creating. We're launching a bunch of content now on our couples page, and I'm always thinking about new skits and new ways we can promote the business or help other people grow or this and that. So, but to have something to fall back on, like, be like, oh, today's racing day, or today,
Yeah.
today I can go do this. Like, what got you into
To
it?
be honest with you, brother, I was dead broke, right? We just talked about this. I was dead broke. I couldn't afford to have anything nice, and I was always into cars. Like I've been a gearhead since I was young. My grandfather was huge into it. He would take me to the Seekonk Speedway on Saturday nights to watch racing. I was just huge into racing, loved cars. and Fast and the Furious came out, and that was it. I was hooked.
Really?
Yeah,
I
and
heard
that
that
was
from a
a-
lot
I
of
Oh,
people.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that was like plateau for me. Like love cars. I will never not be a car guy. And the little kid in me couldn't afford to do anything cool like that, you know? And then get your license, you want like that badass car. Couldn't afford that. I had no money,
Yeah.
you know? I go to work so that I can feed that kid,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yep.
chase your dreams. Like I'm chasing my dreams. That is my passion. That is my motivation, you know, is to do something I love. I love that. That is what pushes me. It tests me. It keeps me humble. It shows me that I can achieve anything I try and do eventually. You know, like I said, I'm chasing a time.
Yeah.
There's so much going into that, and the camaraderie of being around my friends when I'm racing, and my whole race family. You know what I mean? And it's just there's nothing like it.
What's the page? EVO.
So my Instagram is wild_Evo.
Yeah, pull that up, Ash.
That is my personal page, and it's also my car page. Our website is wildevo.net. YouTube is Wild Evo.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit. Like,
That's another thing about me. I'm a goober. I know I'm supposed to be like this really businessman guy,
you gotta, you get,
but
you
I'm
can't
kind of a
that
joke.
balance.
You got it,
I
man.
am
You
the-
got to.
I am the biggest,
That's the
goofiest,
best.
dumbest person you're ever gonna meet. Because I just don't care. You know, like
No,
whatever.
that's the best, man. You got to have that in life.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
this was a video. This was like a one of our sponsors we just picked up. 411 Works.
How many cars do you have?
Look at the color.
That is
It's
crazy,
So that's a
man.
Wild
incredible.
Evo.
Yeah.
That's my only race car currently.
What? Look at that.
It takes a lot. It's a full-time job, honestly.
Yeah.
I actually built a whole business.
What does that
around
cost? How much does that car cost?
Oh man, I can't. My wife's gonna watch this. I can't.
It's
show
a
her.
lot?
Oh.
I can't.
Wow.
I mean, over the years, it's definitely
because-
it's definitely added up.
So that was just a stock car, and you ended up just building it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you keep scrolling through, I'll tell you when to stop, and you can see like a race.
Where do you race? Do you
Keep
race at
going.
Seekonk?
No, this is a drag car.
Okay.
We go all over the country. We go to like New York, Ohio, Maryland, Florida.
Nice.
So this is drag racing.
Yeah, it's drag racing. It's just a quick little burnout. And I think that's it. There's just a burnout.
What does
video.
that go? What's the speed go up to?
So my personal best, I've been 755 at 204
Oh my god.
in a quarter. And it's actually the world's
Seven
fastest.
55 what?
7.55 seconds in the quarter mile.
In a quarter mile. So how
Yeah.
fast you going?
204. 204
Jeez.
miles per hour.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Just
204.98.
straight shot. 204.
Straight shot, yeah. And it's an H-pad in car, so it's a stick. It's just I'm
Holy
shifting the car.
crap, man! That's insane.
Yeah, if you click that one right
kidding.
there in the middle with me, like, hey,
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
this is when we broke the record, the world record again. We reset it a bunch of times. If you scroll through those pictures, look how excited I was. Woo! We were all so happy.
Look at that thing.
So
Aw, that's
unexpected.
cute.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's the family right there, man. We
Aw.
were super happy.
So you travel all over the country for this?
Yeah,
That's fucking wild, man.
there's nothing like it, honestly.
really.
Yeah.
You strap in that car, and you know how like everything you're worried about, everything else, it's like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Let's
envious
go.
of
Let's
stuff like
go.
that,
Let's
man.
just
do
I
it.
wish I had something like
Yeah.
that.
I do two things when I strap in that car. I pray to Jesus. I say safe and fast, and I just lock in. There's
Just
nothing
go.
else that goes through my head.
Do you do sponsorships and stuff?
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of sponsors. I can go through the list if you want, but
So
yeah.
so if somebody wants to get involved in something like this, like what did you do? What was your first step? Like how did you grow? How did you build your car out like that? How long did it take you?
Again, I just
Just
I
a little
went and
bit at
bought
a
an
time.
Evo. I was like I've always wanted an Evo, so that's an Evo 8. I always wanted one. I bought it. It was pretty stock, like nothing done to it, and then I took it to Seekonk Speedway. It was like a circle track, like spectator drag, where you just do one lap and you race the person next to you.
Yeah.
And I blew the clutch.
Oh wow.
So I was like, all right. So that clutch job turned into, I might as well have it out, which is like the worst thing to say to a car guy.
Pandora's
It's like,
box.
while I have this out, I should do this. I ended up doing a full build. And then I was like, I've never been drag racing. I took it to the track. I went 1040 something at like whatever it was, my first pass ever at a drag strip. And I was hooked. That was it. There was no turning back.
Wow.
So I bought that car in March of 2018.
Wow.
So how many years is that?
6 years,
7 years.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that feeling because I vividly remember when the first Fast and Furious came out and just leaving the parking lot that
You're
night.
so in- you're so-
like,
You know, I've never
"Let's
seen not one of
go."
those
So-
movies.
Oh my God.
Oh
I've never
my
seen the Fast and the
God.
Furious.
What?
You guys should come to
Wow.
it. We're
I'm
having
surprised.
we host an annual track event in New York. please come.
Oh yeah,
It's
We've
a
been
track
wanting to
rental.
go to New York.
We donate all the proceeds to a charity. It's the junior dragsters, and then the rest of that gets donated to the track. So we don't take any of the money that we get from there.
That's so cool.
And it's pretty much an open track rental. Anything you bring, you can run. So if you want to bring your truck and go 98 miles an hour down the corridor, you can. You can do whatever you want. You show up and hang out. It's a really good time. But you should definitely go and just experience it.
Yeah, for
Like, it's
sure.
I've never been to any race. I've never been to anything like
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy. It's a good
When
time.
is it?
Yeah, I want to say it's
That'd
August
be
22nd. It's
fun.
a Friday.
The boys, all
Yeah, they would love
get
that.
All of our boys.
August
Cam
22nd.
would love that.
Yeah, for
Cam would love
sure.
It's
that.
at Lebanon Valley Dragway, which is in New York. It's like from here, probably 2.5 hours.
Have you ever thought of a way to monetize it and like make money from it?
So again, coincidentally, I did. So we started selling a lot of merch. Like with that, we're well known for all of our merch. We started a website.
Oh, let's see
We
some of them.
do-
Right? Is this
yeah,
it right
so
here?
this is it right here. So
Yeah.
these are called mystery boxes, and
the Wild Evo.
Wild Evo mystery boxes.
Right
If
here.
when we do giveaways, we do like sweepstakes and giveaways where we give away cars. So by how you get entered is you buy a mystery box, and that counts towards your entry.
Okay.
And then there's all kinds of random stuff in here.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a hat right away.
Oh yeah.
So where do you get all your merch? What's your merch process like?
So like I usually design it myself, sort of. I come up with the idea and then I either reach out to like a designer, for instance, Forays Custom, who's actually working on a shirt for me right now.
Nice.
Constant Design used to do our stuff. They kind of still do some of it. Graphic Inc.
Okay.
Graphic guys?
Graphic Inc. in East Providence.
Graphic Inc., yeah.
Yeah. And then all the other small
little
stuff I kind
bag.
of do myself, which I'm not the
Nice.
greatest at, but you know, it's cool. We have shoes.
Oh, look at
We got
this,
a
dude.
die
Holy
cast. We have
crap.
everything.
What is this, a
This
Pokemon card?
is cool.
That is a collectible Pokemon card. That is
Get out
so
of
that
here.
is the second to the last one that will ever be
Wait,
made.
did you make this?
Yeah.
What? That's
We had
so
them made.
Cool.
So actually, you know what? Let me move this quick.
Wow, look at this. This is freaking cool,
Thank
man.
you.
The only one opening.
I don't know if you can zoom in on that, Ash. That is freaking cool. Or you can do it in the edit. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Look at the
That
stickers,
is
dude.
really
So so again,
cool.
those are numbered.
Wow, you're really on top of the freaking merch.
This is so
This is
fun.
crazy. We
it's
should-
like
we gotta
We're
Christmas.
disappointed
and
from
we're
this.
so sold out of everything.
That's
Like
so
that's
cool.
just
Really?
that's not
How,
half
do you
of what
run
we
it all
have.
through Shopify?
Yeah. Well, now I do, but I physically make it and then I add it to Shopify, and then I ship it
So
you
myself.
ship it.
Destroy
Yeah.
this.
So I am very hands on with my stuff.
We just started a store for our freaking.
I
Couples
saw that the other
page.
day. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah. We're just messing around with it, like until we get some ideas. I'm actually announcing this for the first time. I thought of a cool brand for a shirt, and I'm gonna do. It's called Population Zero. So I'm just gonna. I don't know where the name came from. I just thought about it. We were
Just
at.
thinks it's cool.
Yeah, I just think the name is cool.
Why not?
Population
That's
Zero.
all it takes.
So we're gonna open up a store and start selling that.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice. It's the pink rim. I'm loving it. That's great.
Isn't that pink in the logo so crazy?
That is really awesome.
You know what, dude? This is really
This is
cool because
incredible.
you're creating a culture. You're creating like
Yeah.
something that people can relate to, be
Absolutely.
a part of. You know what
Our
I mean?
community is
Oh
great.
my
All of our
God.
supporters,
Look
we
at this,
love. We have a group on Facebook. I don't even remember what it is. Wild Evo like community or something like that. It's great. We do, like I said, we do all the giveaways. We try to give them advice and stuff. And that right there, I made that
Is
myself.
this, car, is
Look
this
at
air
this. I
freshener?
love
No, that's a
Wild
cologne.
Evo.
Give that a whiff.
Get out of here.
Give it a whiff.
Cologne.
Give it a whiff. You gotta give it a little spritz. Hit that thing. Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're a
wow.
wild man now.
Wow.
That's called wild spice
actually
right there.
really good.
That's wild spice right there. Shout
It's
out.
really good.
If you
Is
want
it?
to unleash
Yeah,
your
smell
wild
it.
side, head to wildevo.net. You know, there's the plug.
Wow,
Oh my
man. Dude, you're
God.
freaking on top of this
I
stuff.
made that
This
box
is
myself.
fun.
I
Did you?
designed the box for the wild spice. I designed that myself.
So is
This
this
is
something that
fun.
people can go on and order?
Oh,
here
yeah.
it is. What is this? The website? Do you have a designer, a web guy that
Christian, he's the guy that my
Oh, that does
in-house
all your
guy.
stuff.
He did this whole
Yeah.
website. So there's the mystery box right there. You know, there's a shirt.
So this is a mystery box. So
That
if
is a
they were
mystery
to
box.
order, they would
They
get
could
this.
potentially get that or whatever else.
Or whatever you
whatever
decide
Whatever
to
you
feel like
put
get,
putting in
whatever I
Yes,
feel like putting in there. We've had
Pens.
socks. We got sandals. Actually, I think you got a set of sandals in there. Hopefully, you're a size 12.
Yeah. So you
This
asked
is
if I was a
so
large.
cool.
This is a large that I'm wearing.
Wow.
I know it's.
Yeah.
I have the weirdest body.
Look, we've had
composition.
custom shoes made. I mean,
Yes,
we got
I
all kinds
need
of
this.
stuff.
shoes. You have shoes too.
We have everything. Shoes, die-cast cars.
Click on those shoes. Wow.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those are cool.
What does that cost you to make? I mean, you don't have to say it, but
well, no, it was on there. $349.99 is what we were selling them for. I think cost on them was like
that's nice.
$329 to our door, so we didn't make much.
wow.
we
Who
had
does those?
We had a gentleman out in France make them, so that's all
And
custom
you sell
by
out
hand.
those.
We sold out, yeah. Yeah, I think
What?
we sold a lot. We sold a lot of those. Yeah, you're gonna love these
I'm
shirts.
blown away
These
by
are
this, man. I'm not gonna lie.
incredible. Look
Those
at these.
shirts are so comfortable, just so you
Oh
know.
my
Not even
gosh.
saying just because they're mine, those are the most comfortable shirts you're ever gonna wear. Wear them to the
Love.
gym, wear them to bed. They're so
Yeah.
comfortable.
The freaking design is incredible.
I designed those myself.
Did you?
I
Are you an
did.
artist?
So
No.
Cool.
Mike, like I said, I am half like I'm not even lying. We're gonna bleep that out, but I am not smart, and I did this on my own computer.
I think I think you're
babe, look at
absolutely
this.
wrong. You are smart. You've capitalized on
You're
everything.
killing it, man.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if you see the key detail in there. That's Macho Man Randy
I
Savage.
know it
Yeah.
is.
And
I know
that's
it
his
is.
wild. So I
Absolutely,
instead of
man.
Macho Man, it's Wild Man. And if you look, he's wearing Wild Man sunglasses, Wild Evo sunglasses.
And you came up with
So
this concept,
cool.
the
Yeah.
design.
So yeah, we were doing a giveaway in a car, and I randomly decided to order costumes on Amazon. Me and my friend Shane. I was the Wild Man Macho Savage. Shane was the Ultimate Wiener. And we dressed up. We made stickers, and I put them through a table, and that's how we promoted the giveaway.
This is
way.
So then we made
fun.
shirts. Is that the cream of the crop one right there?
Dude, this one, no, this is
Oh,
Wild Evo.
so that's the Evo 6 that we gave away. I
Well,
believe
now
you
we know-
have. I
now
believe
we
you
know
have
what
the shirt. It's gold and black.
There's another one
Yeah.
right there, too.
Open that one up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
are you size
look
12?
Yes.
Look at that.
Yep, I am.
Boom.
Here we go.
Those are also comfortable.
These look really comfortable.
Yeah.
You see those toe hold sandals?
Yeah.
You seen those?
So those are Deco slides.
Wow, Wu-Tang, are you kidding me?
So that cream of the crop, and then it
That
says,
is my favorite one.
yeah, the Wild Evo rises to the top, like
Dude,
That
that's
is
what is that he's
sick.
holding?
cream.
Cream.
He's holding
Cream of
creamers.
the
Looks like a bag of something.
Creamers.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
Dude, this
Yeah,
is
we have a good time. Man.
really
We're a bunch of
friggin'
goobers.
impressive,
We
man.
make ads. We make our own videos like for marketing. We're just I don't know.
This-
I come up with stupid stuff all the time.
So,
fun, though.
so I have so many questions.
I'll
This
answer
is,
them all, brother.
No, man, this is
How do you keep
So
that
listen,
on your
here's
foot?
let me show you. See those right there? Those are the
Okay.
straps, and those are fully
Okay.
interchangeable. So I can get new ones made, and you don't have to buy the slides anymore. You can just buy the straps.
Oh,
so when I
that's
come out with a new
sick.
design, all you have to do is buy the straps.
how quickly do you sell out of this stuff?
This is
Instantly
incredible.
almost.
Are you able to
Incredible.
scale? Have you thought about how to scale bigger? Because if you're running
So I'm
out,
not. So here's the thing, Wake. I know this isn't gonna make sense to everybody listening. It is a business, but I don't sell this stuff to make money. It's kind of
It's
hard to
fun.
explain.
It's
It's
just
fun.
a
I sell it
passion.
to my followers and my community.
Yeah.
And then usually I give away more than I sell.
Yeah.
You know, like this probably cost me about $400,
Oh
if
my
not more.
gosh.
I just give this stuff away. You know,
This
Well,
is
it's really good
incredible.
freaking marketing. I mean, this is incredible.
if you go to
marketing.
the events,
We're
all
gonna
you
go
see
to
is
New
Wild
York
Evo.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm down.
This is
Yeah.
it'll be
Dude,
fun.
look at this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
he
where do you
actually
get
needed
these? Where
some.
did you get like where do these come from?
So I made those on. So those are Deco slides, right? And you can fully design your own. So
On Deco slides.
on Deco slides, and I designed. Obviously, I just put my logo on it and made it black.
So when they put the order in through your website, it goes to Deco.
No, those are everything on my website is in house right now.
so
anything
at
that
your
you-
shop.
Yeah. So we have a full warehouse. So if you go on our website and anything that says it's in stock, it means it's in stock. If it says sold out, it's sold out.
So
and once
you-
we sell out, that's it. You're never getting them again.
So you'll get it.
They're all exclusive drops.
Exclusive?
All
So
exclusive
you
drops.
won't release these shirts again.
Ever again.
No. Wow.
Once they're out, they're out.
That's a really good way to do it. It gives
It's
it
like
gives
a
it
boutique.
a sense of
It's a
Sense of urgency. Everybody
yeah,
wants
sense
them.
of urgency.
And the other thing we do too is when it's during a giveaway or a sweepstakes, each piece of merch, so each physical garment is worth a certain amount of entries.
Wow.
So that, for instance, when we did the Evo 6, that Evo 6 shirt was worth like 10,
okay.
but the slides were worth like 40, and the hats are worth 30, so on and
That's
so
fun.
forth.
It's a
Yeah,
game.
it's fun. It
piece.
really is.
Yeah.
bro. You could really you could scale this. These are
Those are all top quality shirts too. I don't
They're-
do like the Gildans or anything. That's a Gildan 2 soft one. That's a beautiful shirt.
they're
Yeah.
top quality, but the most important thing that I'm seeing is the brand. This is
very
stuff that
bright.
people that if they're
can't miss
involved in this, like this is stuff that they this is.
What I
It's
love
really
the
impressive.
most is the bright colors.
Absolutely.
It absolutely changes your mind.
Wild
You're
Evo.
like happy.
First thing you
yes.
see that car, you're like, wow, that's wild. And then you're like,
Yeah.
huh, Wild Evo.
Evo.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you pick up that sticker right there of us, so that's me dressed up and my friend Shane dressed up. That's me. I made that into a sticker.
That's
Look at
so
that.
funny.
That was us when we were
Oh,
promoting.
that was the costume.
That's the Wild Macho Man and the Ultimate Wiener.
That is
Dude,
hilarious.
very
And if you go on
creative.
YouTube,
Very,
I don't know
very
if you want
creative.
to ask your gentleman out there to go
Yeah.
on YouTube, Wild Evo on YouTube, you will see me put him through a table.
Really?
Let's look at that one first. We'll do this one. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's the cream of the crop. GFT giveaway.
Heck
Got
yeah.
59,000 miles.
Yeah.
This is so freaking cool. This is your shop?
That's my shop. That's one of my shops.
One
Yeah.
of the cleanest cars I've ever seen. What do you want? You can't have this car. You can't have it.
Are you on TikTok too?
I just created a TikTok.
This would go,
This would
dude, this would go crazy
absolutely
on
go
TikTok.
viral.
This doesn't happen to you.
Oh my goodness.
So then, if you
Wow,
go back,
man.
I'm going to show you the one right, that one right there. That was me introducing
What's up,
Wild
guys? We got the
Spice,
next giveaway.
the cologne that we came up with.
It's actually really good.
yeah,
You smell it?
yeah, I like it.
For Wild Evo. Yep, it's here. Could be.
No way.
What's in there, dude?
It's the new Wild Evo Wild Spice.
Talk about it,
Let's
dude.
try it out.
Yes.
That was wild. Wild Evo Wild Spice.
What a dude!
WildEvo.net.
What a brand!
you're
This
Yeah,
is a really cool
this
brand,
is
man.
fun.
Like I
Do you
I
know
know I
how
keep
much-
saying it, but I can just see this really
This
getting.
is,
But it's just fun for
it's
you.
just like literally when Shane and I are driving to work, I'll be like, dude, I just came up with like 3 ideas. We gotta go
Yeah.
do this. Like, write this down.
I'm the same way.
Like, I'm
dude.
like, oh my god, I just had the funniest thing. This would be hilarious. Let's just write it down. And
Yeah.
that's all we
Dude,
do.
we're doing a commercial for Horizon, and I know the saying "your wife is hot." It's like a thing that air conditioning places do. But we're gonna, I'm gonna be sitting at my office, and do you know the Chattels, like Taj Chattel, and so they were like known for being like, don't fuck with them growing up. They were
Yeah.
just tough guys, and I'm gonna have Todd walk into my office and be like, "Which one is Mike?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it's me." He goes, "Did you say something to my wife?" I'm like, "Oh, your wife is hot, man." And she'd be like, "What did you just say?" He's gonna start coming at me, and I'm gonna be like, "Dude, your wife, she's really hot." And he's gonna grab me and put me in like and start like spinning me around. And be like, "No, she needs AC, dude.
Yeah,
she wanted
that's
AC."
hilarious.
I'm gonna pull out the price sheet. And
Yeah.
So we're gonna do something with that.
That's
and
funny.
but I'm same way. I'm always thinking of new, funny ways to engage with the audience and to
You
try
have
to
to
like,
because
promote.
everybody's so serious now with
I know.
with marketing.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't care
Nobody
how
wants
much
to
I'm
watch it.
saving. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want your alarm system.
Yeah.
Make me laugh and I'll get your alarms. Remember, and when I'm
Exactly.
talking to my wife, hey, we need an alarm. Hey, you know that guy that put his wife through a table?
Yeah.
That's who I want.
100%. Man. Yeah, it just gives authenticity to.
Yeah. We're not
to what you're
robots
doing.
here.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Speaking of robots, are you implementing AI at all with any of your businesses?
That is a freaking great question. So the only time I use AI is for my own personal
Well,
use.
Monday is
Automation.
yeah.
There are automations. But as far as like a chat GPT, I don't really use
You're not using
that.
like chat boxes or anything, stuff like that.
No,
It's
no.
not quite there yet.
It's not there, and especially
Yeah.
for me and my business, not really.
Yeah.
Spell check. That's the quickest thing. That's the only
Yeah.
I
closest
use
thing.
chat GPT every day.
Yeah.
For a lot.
I think
of
if I
stuff.
knew how to use it, I would use it.
Do you not know how to use it?
Not really. I
you
don't think
will
I.
have a blast with it once you start playing with it,
because
especially
you-
on God mode.
Yeah, because you can get really good ideas from it too. Like if you're
I think
thinking,
that's the other thing too. Is like I want to be like organic.
yeah.
You know, everybody's
it's-
using that
It's
stuff.
just
Yeah,
funny.
it
It
is.
can just be a funny thing. Like one of our very first dates, we were just plugging in like funny scenarios. Like remember in the back of cereal boxes, you used to have to like put in words and you'd finish a story.
It's a
Yeah.
stereo box.
We
No, I'm
no
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
cereal box.
Oh, cereal.
Cereal. But we were doing that with ChatGPT, and it came out with the most hilarious story I've ever heard. And it's because it
Oh, we
was-
were gonna
it
put a
was about
cartoon behind it.
It was like a llama
Yeah,
and
it's
something like
stupid,
that.
yeah.
It was just. It doesn't have to be serious,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
still totally organic.
You know what's funny, dude? When I first met her, I had no money. Like I was broke, dude, and I would play it off like I did. You know, yeah, I'm good, because I just started my company. I was just like trying to figure it out. I had just gotten clean, so like my life was getting put back together. And she was like, "You need a new bed. You need a new like." My bedroom was like I had like this old school fucking frame that like no furniture. Like I was a single dude. You know what I mean?
We don't need anything.
I don't need shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, listen, I want to get you a bed. You know, it costs this much, blah, blah, blah. Let me see your card. I'll order it for you. And I was like, oh God. I was like, oh, dude. I'm like, I looked at my account. I had like $1,100 or something, and the bed was $1,000.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, please go through.
I'm not eating this week.
Yeah, no. So I had to figure out how I was going to get money that week. But she believed in me from day one, dude.
That's
like
awesome.
from day one, I think you kind of knew that I didn't have much, but I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's how's your relationship with your wife, and like does she support a lot of the stuff that you do? And
So I met my wife in nightlife.
did you?
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Rough couple years, like
I
to
was
start.
well, it was when I met her like at the hype of my nightlife career, which was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was just terrible. Like I just
That's how we met, by the way.
Yeah, this is how we met.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't the best with women, or like I just told you, like relationships. I never trusted anybody. I was always like kind of survival mode. Like I never stuck around. I was always like moving too fast, and like, oh, this person showed me attention. Great, let's do something about it. You know,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
I was just messed up as a kid. So I met my wife during nightlife. I was promoting something, a bar at the time or whatever it was. And we dated for a while, but it was just very toxic. On and off, on and off, on and off, stupidity, you know. And then we stopped talking for like, I don't know, 4 years or something like that, 3 or 4 years. And I had gotten out of another relationship, and randomly, I think I sent her a message on Instagram, and we started hanging out again, and then that was it. Like, that was like my second year in business, I want to say. So like I was totally different. I was a totally different person. You know,
Yeah.
4 years is a long time.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're going from a transition of not doing anything to all of a sudden doing stuff.
Yeah, because like the furthest thing from my mind was a relationship. When I got with my wife the second time, I was just, hey, how are you? And like just kind of shooting the shit. It wasn't, I just got out of like an awful relationship. I wasn't looking for it. I was like focusing on my business, and then things just happened.
Yeah.
It just kind of fell into place. She got pregnant. I had my first child. Totally different life. My life changed.
Yeah.
Best thing that ever happened to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Best thing ever happened to me was my daughter.
Yeah.
My first daughter. She saved my life.
Yeah.
My wife too. I mean, she was great. Pain in my ass, you know, Shelby, you're a friggin' pain in my ass, but I love you to death, you know.
We have a great
Oh,
shirt
Shelby.
for that.
Shelby Tripp.
Oh, yeah.
Little Shelby Amaral now.
I remember Shelby. Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby. So we've been married for 3 years.
Wow. Time goes fast.
We've been married for 3 years. We have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. This upcoming Thursday, so a week from today, I'm going to have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. They were born on the same exact day, 5 years apart.
No way.
That's
5 hours, 5 days
incredible.
apart. How crazy is that?
That is incredible.
May 29th, 2019 was the first. May 29th, 2024 is the second.
That's really fun.
She loves numbers. That's
I
You
do.
like that.
That's crazy.
So is she very supportive with like the business? Does she help with the business at all?
So that's the craziest part about my relationship with my wife is she has her own life.
Yeah.
She has her own career. She's a traveling nurse, which
Oh,
takes a
that's
lot of her
incredible.
time.
Yeah.
She crushed it with that. She put herself
Good
through
money, dude.
college. Got her.
Good-
she
good
crushed
career.
it. She
Yeah.
doesn't need me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we were divorced today, she'd be fine. She'd have enough money to buy a yacht. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't need me for that, which is great.
Yeah.
She doesn't need me for my money. She doesn't need me for anything. She's a strong, independent woman, which is awesome. She's a great mother, which is awesome because we both kind of had a similar upbringing. Like her step grandmother raised her,
Oh, wow.
which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
what are the odds
very
of that?
similar.
Dude, the
And-
birthday, the freaking
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
the 2222.
222. Her birthday is 223.
Yeah.
My number through every single sport was 23 or 22.
Crazy,
Numbers.
man.
I'm huge with numbers too.
Wow.
Too.
I don't know if you follow that whole numbers thing.
Oh,
but
yeah,
there's
she
a lot
does.
of correlation
My
to that.
We see
birthday's 2-2.
111.
2-2, yeah.
Yeah.
We see 1111 all the time.
Yeah.
All the
Make a
time.
wish.
We
Yeah.
follow.
So my birthday is 129, and then my daughter's birthday is a 529.
Yeah.
So it's
that's-
fives. I don't know if you know anything about the fives.
Mhm,
Yeah,
that,
it's
actually, that's his favorite number. 5.
Yeah, that's my number. What's the fives? Does that change, right?
change.
Yeah.
Huge change in growth. It's
Yep.
fives. So and then 7. I mean 7.
7 for real.
Sevens.
Yeah.
What's your biggest margins as far as work? What are you searching for? What's your bread and butter? And like, what is your specialty? If people want to contact Amaral Services, what can they expect?
So right now, we've transitioned over the last few years to new construction, like whether it's an addition or a full custom built house. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on.
Awesome logo too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
House, and literally we were just sleeping here, all our clothing, etc. And Nick had to, with his crew, build this while respecting that we're still living here. And it wasn't easy at times, but Nick figured it out. My kids have to continue living. They don't understand what construction is. As you can see, in my driveway is still a hockey setup. It didn't disrupt as much as I had lumber, a dumpster out there. Nick and his crew made sure that myself, my wife, and my kids continue to live in here as seamless as possible while all this was going on. It just gives a lot of accolades to Nick and his crew in terms of working with the family.
Yeah,
it's
that's
Ben.
a great testimonial.
When you're
so
asking-
he actually goes into he has like a 2.5-minute testimonial. And we have it on our
Really?
website, which is cool. Ben's a great guy. He actually, I don't want to like throw him under the bus, but he deals with suing bad contractors.
Really?
Right. So he knows what to look for and what not. So him hiring us was huge.
Yeah.
He entrusted
This
us from the
testimonial is
yeah,
huge.
that testimonial is huge. So again, shout out to Ben. He's already like recommended us a bunch of work. We love that. You know, we love a happy customer. We put the customer first always.
Yeah.
Do you deal with a lot of customers that don't really know what they want, and then you kind of recommend? Like,
yeah. And that's the hardest part is like navigating that and trying to pick it through, like pick their mind, and you know, but you just got to be patient. And you know, this is a lot of the time is like it's a huge investment for them. This is like an addition. That's it for them. They're going to do this one big project and that's it. That's their forever home.
Yeah.
Or if they're building a forever home, they don't know what they want because there's so many options. You get bombarded with all these fixtures and allowances and specs and this and that. And it's like, got to go easy with them, you know, and it's a ginger subject. Like that happens all the time. Like for instance, we just had a customer do a full 4,600 square foot house, and we got down to finish work. We were installing countertops. We installed the countertops. She hated them. And I was like, technically, I don't have to do anything about that, but we worked around it. We ended up moving things around. She was gonna have she was gonna have a stone outside. We did like a full outdoor kitchen.
Wow.
So what I didn't buy the outdoor stone yet. So I was like, hey, you can change it. We'll try to make it work. And it ended up working. We had to cut like 6 inches off and we had to refabricate it. But we solved her problem.
Yeah.
You know, like we just worked with her, and she wasn't gonna, you know, if we did this beautiful 4,600 square foot house or whatever it was, and at the end of the project, she's gonna say, "Oh, I loved it, but I hate this countertop. I wish I would have did something
And
different."
that right there is enough to turn people off to not want to work with you.
Because they're gonna think
seriously.
that's my fault when it really isn't.
100%.
You know, but well, again, we take that step.
Yeah.
But don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't use that against me. You get what you get.
Pick
You
your
don't get upset.
countertops and
That's
stay in
it.
there.
No.
No, it just shows it shows your character, and it shows why you're so successful. And a big part of wanting to have you on this podcast is because I see the success that you're having, and I see what you do, and I truly respect it. And like all this stuff, man. You know, I think guys like you said earlier, we don't get enough people telling us, dude, you're doing it. You know, you're doing it, but you are. You're doing it. You're killing it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We appreciate you coming on, man, and I wish you nothing but success in the future, man, and hopefully you know, we can continue with this relationship and, you know, do
whatever you guys need.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank
man.
you.
Cool.
But thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me, guys.
it.
Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah.